Don't forget to sign up for the Values Live Monster Jam Triple Threat Series Experience giveaway. To get registered, simply go to valueslive.com. Click on the old contest tab. It's brought to you by Monster Jam Triple Threat Series. You've got some winners to announce today as well. You can see them there on your screen. So to all the lucky winners, congratulations. That'll be like your local Super Bowl, because I think the Super Bowl is that weekend. So
fun stuff. You may remember a while back when we first started talking to the Service Dogs of America on the puppies that they had, and they were just 8 weeks old.
So we're glad to have our good friends back, including Riker. Riker's been doing some great things, and apparently he's going to show off some tricks for us today that he's learned, huh? Welcome back, you guys. It's good to see you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Connie and Jenny are back with us today, and before we get into what we're going to talk about today, I was going to say we were so fascinated by the last time you were here. We're talking about body language and dogs. Every time we had a dog on, Chris was like, "What is that dog's body language?"
Yeah.
Right? We were. So it's like we're always learning something, even if we're not going to be hired by you guys to help do some training. But today we're going to talk a little bit about positive reinforcement, right, in your training. So. How does that, what does that mean when it comes to training dogs?
So when we talk about positive reinforcement, we're talking about noticing what we want the dog to do rather than what we don't want the dog to do. And I think this is, again, very similar to parenting. So if you see a behavior that you like, you reward it, you comment on it, you praise on it because you want that behavior to come back.
Okay.
If you focus on the behavior that you don't want, you're giving attention to that. And what we want to do is give attention to what we want the dog to be doing for us.
But if you have a toddler or a young puppy, you say no like 25,000 times a day.
Or you redirect.
Redirect.
It's just like a toddler. You redirect. Yes. If they're doing something you don't want them to do, you offer them something different and help them make the right decision.
Okay.
So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to try. Remember, we have a service dog in training today too. So I always say that. I always preface that when I do a presentation, that this is a service dog in training. But we're going to do a couple of training methods that we do on campus. And they're both positive based, and so that's why we use these particular two.
Can you kind of describe then the graphic that we're seeing right now?
Okay, so we have the 6 levels of training a service dog. And so we've talked a bit before about the tasks that the dogs do. And if you see, we don't go into training those until they've gone quite a way through the process. And so the first part is service puppy, and that's what we've talked a bit about with the socialization, getting them accustomed to different environments. And then we go to foundation skills, and that's really teaching the dog how to learn. And that's part of the positive reinforcement process too. It's allowing them to make decisions through our training method.
I love how it says they're being a dog.
Yes, but that's important. You know, these are dogs that work, but they're dogs first. And so we have to remember that they need their dog time too. and that's what they sort of learn at first.
Okay, that's like babies too.
Yes.
Like kids can be kids even if they have to follow the rules.
Right.
So what does that mean for someone at home that maybe has a new puppy or a new dog? Like, how can I help my dog just being a dog?
Being a dog? Well, so dogs do behaviors that are natural to them. So we seem to want to stop their natural behaviors because they don't fit into our world. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of that goes with management, like we've talked about before. So dogs naturally jump up when they greet each other. And in human world, that is not a good thing. You know, you don't want, well, Riker's kind of a smaller dog, but you don't want a big dog jumping on you when they're full grown. So you start teaching that as babies, you know, that's not a behavior that we want. So instead of commenting and focusing on the jumping, you comment and focus when they've got 4 on the floor.
Okay, so show us some of the positive reinforcement, because you guys got some things in your hands that I'm kind of interested as to what's going on here. So
okay, so the first method that I'm going to talk about is capturing. And so capturing is just as it sounds. You capture a behavior as it happens. The thing with capturing is it can take a very long time. So if I have a more elaborate behavior that I want the dog to do, I probably won't wait to capture it because it's going to take a long time. But these dogs have been trained since they were babies on capturing. And so what I'm going to try to do is, I've got this tub here, and what I want him to do is I want him to put both paws on it. So I might help him a bit by praising the behavior as it gets closer to what I want, but so we'll watch as it goes along here. Riker, free dog.
And while she's demonstrating that, you guys have asked quite often how service dogs are different from the pets that we have in our home, and I think this graphic does a really great design of explaining that these dogs do have to learn how to be really good family dogs. And in all fairness, Riker's used to working with me more than Miss Connie, because I do our prison training. So
Good discipline on your part. He came over to you and you didn't even pet him. Like, that would be so hard for me.
these Vestas
Like, hey,
do not
Riker.
pet.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so if he doesn't start doing some of the behaviors that I want, I'm going to add another training technique called luring. And so what I'm waiting for him to do is get a little closer to the tub, even look at the tub, and then I'm going to click and treat for it till he figures out that, oh, the tub, that's what I want her to do. I want her to go to that. But in the interest of time today, since we just have a few minutes, I might help him along here.
So it's really, so it's really important that service dogs learn how to make decisions.
Okay, he leaned
When
forward.
those medical responses are happening, there's not going to be a person who can give an audible command to, tell it to do something. So it needs to be able to problem solve to say, what does my human need? And so that's why this is really important with capturing. It teaches them to make decisions.
Yeah, so why are you giving him treats even though he hasn't done what you're asking him to do?
Because he's getting closer and closer. Getting closer and closer to it. Yeah, it's called successive approximations. So the closer he gets, I'll click as soon as he shows me a little something more. Okay, but I think I might
Got
have
it.
to lure him. He doesn't
Do
seem
you put
to
like treats right on top of it then?
No, because we don't want him picking things up off the floor.
I'm just
because
kidding.
well, if he weren't a service dog, I would. I actually would. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to lure him a little bit. Got a little bit closer.
So often, having us, it seems silly to put the dog's paws on something, but it helps teach body awareness also. So when we were talking about body language and communication, we also have to teach body awareness. Dogs don't really know initially that they have a backside. So we have to teach them that there's a backside there and they have independent control over those items. So that will include backing them upstairs or backing them up onto an item.
Yes. There.
Good job.
That's awesome. Within time, too. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you, Riker. You did awesome. Connie and Jenny, thank you as always for coming in. And we're going to work on that positive reinforcement as well. Maybe with
great.
people, just like our
Yes,
service
it
dogs.
works with people.
It works with
It
people,
does.
too.
Yeah.
We'll be right back here on North Dakota Today. Good
All right,
job,
thank
Riker.
you.